Hello.
Meeps with the 26-month tier 1 sub. 26 months of me asking for cookies. Oh whoa.
Also, thank you so much, Meeps, for subscribing for the last 26 months and for the gifting the sub to Sumi Wolf. I greatly appreciate it. Also, did the thingy-majiggy do the thing? Hang on. Oh, it's not gonna redo the thingy-majiggy in the top left there because it won't, like, gosh darn it, I'm an idiot. Alright, hands, yep, they're working. I got a bright shining light right there. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Why is it saying ad break will end in like a minute 30? I thought the ads have already run. Hello! Hi, welcome. Welcome everyone, welcome. Hi, Farkova. Hi there, Meeps. Ernie, Zach, good to see you. Masonic, hi, welcome. How are you, by the way, Grant? I am fairly okay. I am awake. I am... Hang on a sec, I can delete... There we go, I can remove that. I am awake. I am no longer on call. And... Actually, I'm not going to post in there. I am still posting in, like, all the different Discords and shit that I exist in of, like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if I was streaming right the fuck now? Hi, I already gave you 26 cookies! Look, it's still in the chat! You can see it in the chat! You can still see it in the chat, even if you hyper himbo me. I gave you your cookies already, okay? Cookie for Fakovia! Here's your cookie. You missed my himbo. I'm no one's himbo. I am my own himbo, thank you very much. But I do appreciate you coming into the stream. Cause like you posted a message at like 6 in the morning or something like that. And it's just sort of like, oh, when's the next time Grant is gonna stream in his morning? So it's like a more appropriate evening for the Americans. And I was just sort of like, how about now? How about in the next 5 minutes? Let me get my shit together. Let me like get typing and just be like click 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 click. We're doing things today. I have no clue what, hence why it's just chatting, because like I'm not well, okay, technically I'm not on call. Last week I was on call. I was on like level 1 and such like that, which meant that if there was an issue, Jesus Christ. Nice. The boobies move a lot during hyper himbo. Like look at that shit. Oh, actually, this is also a perfect opportunity for me to double check how the new shirts look while I'm hyper. Ernezak! Hi! Sorry, not Ernezak. Unnamed, hi! You came in at the right moment. Yes, you did, because guess what? Guess what I've put together? Get ready for this. Bam! Look at this. Yeah! Because I made this shirt, but I didn't put it in the thingamadiggy. Wrong lever! Yo, yes, yo, it's your shirt. Sorry, not I keep mixing up Uranea Zach and Unnamed because you both start with U. It's really distracting. But Unnamed is an awesome 3D artist. They're a titty artist and all this kind of such. And one of their like cool designs that they've done is this shirt that they've done for both their own character and for a few of their other 3D art renders, and that is all titty is good titty, which I very much agree with. I'm a fan of the big titty, I will be real with you, but I do agree with this statement, okay? I have to be a forward-thinking sort of zebra, because not everyone can handle big titty. Not everyone loves big titty, and that's okay. Even though I might cry a little when someone talks about a breast reduction, I understand it's not about me. It's about their way of living and how they want to be more comfortable. Bam! Ding, 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 ding. Spaceship. Lego. Let's see how we go. Oh, thank you for the boops! We all love titty. That is great to hear. Where is... So many things are being thrown at me. I made it because I get pretty upsetty when I see people posting rather mean comments on adult models about being too small or something. You know what? I do remember. I don't know if it was you that commented this or if another artist commented this, and I've like faulted in doing this as well. And I really need to check myself about this. But I remember there's been a comment like sometimes when, you know, some artists, like their whole thing is like, you know, the bigger than normal titty and what have you, or bigger than larger portions. And they're like, oh, which is your favorite? And they'll give you like 4 or 5 options. They'll give you N options for like the different sizes out there or different shapes. But if it's like a scale or something like that, you're going to get like a number of comments. And I've definitely have made it in the past where they're like, yes, you've given me N options. I love N option plus 1. So it's like, if you got 10 options out there and they're like, oh, which of the 10 sizes do you like? And you're like, I like size 11. It's like, or it's that whole could be bigger thing. Grant, streaming in the morning? Yes, Bookie, in the morning on a Tuesday. Everyone else in Australia is working right now today. I'm not working right now. It's okay, it's Monday for the Americans. It's Monday evening for the Americans. It's Tuesday morning for the Australians. How many Aussies do we have in chat? How many Aussies do we have? Because I'm like, Bookie is an Aussie. Who else is an Aussie? I'm really having to scratch my brain here. Is Fakovia an Aussie? I don't remember. What's Bookie saying? I ordered some Maccas for breakfast. You want some nuggets? Oh, no. I've already been going for too many Maccas, and it doesn't help that McDonald's in Australia is once again doing the Monopoly game again. So it's like, oh, I wasn't really thinking of getting like 20 McNuggets and 2 packets of chips and 2 drinks, but it's all for the Monopoly game. I'm most certainly going to do that. I could win like $5,000 gift card to A-Mart or an all-paid expenses trip on a cruise. It's like, I'm not going to win those things, McDonald's. I should know this, but I still try. So, damn it, where the hell is the goddamn schedule? Because this definitely took my chances of first. First, you are absolutely correct, and I haven't posted it. I haven't even, like, filled it in and such like that. Where am I in my train of thought? I need to... Lego Scream. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because like someone's like posted what looks to be Oh, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna use Google. I need to find the spaceship. Okay, so the Lego Movie spaceship. Here it is. Spaceship. All right. Strong vibes in the first one. It's just you hear Charlie Day just being like, I could build a spaceship, and he finally, like, after like twice trying to build a spaceship. Thank you for this
paid me to
69
say
bits.
honestly that whole could be bigger and whatnot is certainly 2010's calling.
Wait, hang on. Why didn't it
Meats
do
paid me
the?
to say honestly that whole could be bigger and whatnot is certainly 2010's calling.
Hang on. 69 bits didn't do. Yay! There we go. Now it did the thing. Nice. What did I miss? Get wrecked. I defs get a lot of free food and drink items. Damn. Plus, you never know what the next day will bring, so schedule always changes. Well, yeah, but here's the thing. I try and do schedules and such like that for like being able to do consistencies and what have you. I want to touch the cake. Maybe I should have like grabby hands or something like that. So it's like it goes off randomly somewhere on this, like on the 3D scene. So then that way, if I'm in the corner or something like that, the hand goes into like a random quadrant. Because I have it for the "Did you see it?" I could probably do it for the GIF where I can just do where I just get the grabby hands GIF. So, and then that way it's on a loop, and then do like the normal code of like, oh, move this to here, move this to here. Yes, but also
Go suck a
no.
lemon.
You go suck a lemon for it. Here's also, I just realized the reason why I went back to that screen is because I don't have it programmed yet to figure out what the last camera was and move back to that one. It's technically, yeah, because here's the thing, is like, thank you. Thank you, Very Curious, for another review at my cake. So keep doing it until you get an email from Twitch. I never got an email or a warning about when I had like the big milky nipples. There was like no whatsamahoozy on that one. I didn't get any like notice or letter. I didn't get like a lot of people sending me direct messages of like, oh, how dare you present such prominent nipples on your stream? Do you have no decency as a VTuber furry? It's like, that never came along. I removed it because of my own, like, thingamadoogies. I'll keep doing this until I am calm for not getting first. You're gonna be using so many of your points. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna use so much of your points. Alright, ding dong. Alright. Now, where was I in my train of thought? And that is going to be a goddamn while. How many points does Furry Cures have, I wonder? How many points do they have? Also, did the, let's see, hyper... extra... Okay, so we got the bits... yeah, okay, so exactly 69 bits, and the channel... Oh, wait, I need to double check if that channel command is only for moderators. Yes, it is, and it's currently disabled. I think something else fell out of my pocket. You're just dropping shit on my head right now. And it's a knife! Gotta hide the nips for the good peeps in chat. Yeah, it was just more for myself. It was more for myself, honestly. Also, hi there, Sky. Welcome to the stream. Being bannable or not is confusing to say the least most of the time. The reason being is because they don't, like, Twitch doesn't put into clear text examples of what are bannable offenses and what's not. And in the past, it was all down to like the discretion of global moderators, I believe. So there would be cases where, you had very sort of, you had a lot of moderators that would target women when they did this kind of shit, and then male streamers wouldn't get the same post a name of a song. What name of a song? I don't have like Moobot doing things. This is like there is no Moobot doing a song request or anything like that. So yeah. You love the all titty is good titty? That's done by Unnamed. Unnamed came up with the with that slogan, and I just co-opted their shirt because I quite liked it, and I thought it was good. Alrighty, hang on a second. We need to have a think about, do I want to play Starfield, or do I want to do the Payday 3 beta? Actually, is the Payday 3 beta even gonna work? Oh no, it doesn't. Because it only works on the weekends. Damn it. Okay, so it's not gonna be Payday 3. It's gonna be Starfield then. I think I have Starfield still. If I don't, this is gonna be a very big question mark as to why the hell did Xbox get rid of Starfield from the Game Pass? You could say it works only on paydays. Nice one, Red Loop. Nice one. Good funnies. Great opener for your first message in the chat. Hi, welcome. Hopefully you're doing all right. All right, let's get, you know what? Let's get Starfield up and running. I need to update my, my stream info and what have you. So then that way it's, you know, it like properly demonstrates of like, oh, hey, this zebra is playing a space game. That's odd. They have it like that, but then again, I guess they're stress testing it. It's going to be released in the next, I think, next month, actually. Like, I'm pretty sure it's coming out relatively soon. So they're probably just doing, like, quick beta tests to see how their network is going to handle, you know, all the different players on their Unreal Engine. Because they were playing it on, like, their proprietary thing, which was having some very funky sort of physics play when you started having multiple people. Drinked my iced coffee because I am a child who cannot make his own coffee. Alrighty then, get ready, chat. So we change the stream info from just chatting to Starfield because I thought I would have more things to talk about, but I really don't, honestly. I just had the whole, like, Joji's TikTok is a song I think you might... Oh! I know Joji. He's the pink suit guy. I remember Joji from that time. Like, when he, like, it was like, welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker. Like, what's his name? What's the name of his character that was, like, the pink guy? Just getting some minis ready to be painted, but good. Ooh, not wait, like Warhammer minis or a different franchise entirely? What's your Filthy Frank? Thank you, Unnamed. Thank you. Filthy Frank. Yeah, because here's the thing: is like, there's a lot of people like who are fans of Joji and his music, and there's like there's a section of them that don't realize that Filthy Frank is like who he is. And it's like if you somehow reminded people that Ryan Gosling was technically a Disney house kid and became a neo-Nazi in a film in order to remove that image. People would just be like, nah, Ryan Gosling would never play as a neo-Nazi. What the fuck are you talking about? And then it's like, here's the film. Prepare to have your image of this perfect boy, this perfect romance comedy boy shattered, as there is evidence of him playing a Nazi. But, you know, it is what it is. Alrighty, pause the music and swap over to the game. Hopefully the game is going to be a-okay with me. Continue from the last save. Yes. Battletech minis. You've also got some D&D ones you still need to do. Nice. Neaties. I don't have any minis whatsoever. Like, I like the look of minis, but I do not have the dexterity to properly... Oh my god, where are we going? Alright, so we're going that way. God damn it, why is this person messaging me on my day off? Alright, so I have a mission. Mission! You must be punished. No, I don't. I really don't. Alright, we gotta head to Neptune.
Go suck a lemon.
Set a course for Neptune. Your sis bought you some Warhammers as penance for giving me COVID. Aww, I'm sorry you had to get COVID, but hey, you got new minis. What army did they give you?
Did you see that? There's a ship just drifting out there. No time to take in the sights. That could be our vanguard.
Alrighty.
Something's wrong. The ship's weapons are powering up. Get ready.
Alright.
Vanguard to civilian ship. Come in.
If you stop shooting at us, we'd be more than happy to respond.
It's not me. Mercs hijacked my ship. White-lined a couple of them, but they've locked me down. Really could use an assist.
Alright.
We blow that ship out of the stars, he's dead and our artifact's gone. We're going to have to board. Target the engines. Once they stall out, we'll have our chance.
Missile. Oh, Jesus. Oh. This probably would be very intuitive on a controller, but... Alright, so the grav jump is disabled. Oh, Jesus. Shields are down. Come on. Give me his engines. Don't you dare. Ah, you motherfucker. Hi there, Bo, and welcome to the stream. Most high-style ships can be boarded once the ship engines are down. You must fly close to the ship before you will be able to dock. Once you board, expect the crew on the ship to fight back.
Start the docking routine. Come on. Let's
Nice.
go rescue that vanguard.
You put it up on the TV for your viewing convenience because your butt hurts. Hi, Renee, Zach's TV. Alrighty, boarding. This is still like the tutorial. Like, I'm pretty sure these are just the tutorial missions and shit.
We need to rescue that. Have something for me?
Yes, I have a lot of things to give you because my weight is absolutely like honka chonkas heavy. Name, value, wait, here we go. You can have all this shit because I cannot be bothered. Nope, you can't carry anything else. All right, back to Sarah. Let me have a look at your weapons again. Exterminator modified. Okay, I'll grab you. And all right. Tab to exit out. All right, here we go. Where are we going? So that's the... Okay, so this way we're going? I can barely see where the enemy is. I'm trying to be very stealthy. Cups and lids, folders. Hey, cool, a dartboard. So yeah. A knife! She brought you a knight? Hey, nice. Sorry, I was not properly watching, chat and what they were saying. Okay, where the fuck is... Am I just, like, missing a very obvious door? Like...
I'm getting sick. It just doesn't feel right.
Am I, like, just really dumb? Alright, so the Frontier is our ship.
Target locked.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. I'm a little bit busy right now, Furry Cures. I'm assuming it's Furry Cures that's hitting me with all the go suck a lemons, because that's the most they'll talk about once I don't have like a talking
Cold
thing.
never hurt anyone, right?
Scroll wrap. Yep, you. Alright, reload you. I need to remember not to grab everything off a corpse. And also to, like, aim correctly. Go. Canuck poutine. Thank you. Oh, Jesus. Damn it. I have, like, no stim packs and shit. We see where all your brains went. It's okay, hun. Thank you, Red. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright. Let's try this again. Let's try and be stealthy this time as well. Uh-huh. Nope, wrong direction. Can't be stealthy all the time. Oh, he exploded. Alright. You. Reload you real quick. Grab the poutine. Alright, nothing in you. Alright, here we go. There we are, there we are, there we are. Space Adept Rescue X, Ship's Key, and some Digi-Sticks. Excelente. Give me that med pack so I can heal myself. And of course the med pack has to work like a stim where it decides to like slowly revive myself. Cannot wait for the 80 wheels of cheese I carry. Oh, a captain's locker. Alright, neat. Sup?
Am I glad to meet whoever you two are? Looks like we're all in one piece. Any day you walk away from, right?
It's a good day to be alive, it is. Who were these people? Why'd they hijack your ship?
Ecliptic mercs. They'll work for anyone. And vanguards don't exactly make friends with local pirates, thieves, and scavengers. I think enough of them finally got fed up and they pooled their money to hire professionals.
We're from the Explorer group.
You guys still exist? Man, I've only heard stories.
We've heard stories too, about a strange object you found on patrol.
So, you know what that thing is? I tried to hawk it in Sidonia, and the guy thought I was peddling phony titanium.
It doesn't play nice with scanners. It'd be worthless to someone trying to flip rare minerals quickly.
So you're saying I shouldn't be using it as a hood ornament?
I'm going to groan on behalf of the scientists everywhere, then you're going to hand over the
Hey,
artifacts.
sorry. I just didn't know what it was.
We'll say you're
But
really
I guess
impressed
that's
with what you
all
can
are
do in
for,
this
right?
game. This is...
Here, happy to trade a novelty.
This is a
for
good
rescue.
Bethesda game. Like, I don't know how I feel about it as a space game. Like, I don't know how I feel about it being only like as a space game, especially when you compare it to games such as No Man's Sky or or what's Mahuzi Eve Online, and like all the difference that we have out there. Oh, hey, the cargo hold. We're gonna grab this shit. Can we pilot this?
Thanks again for the rescue. Don't know what I would have done if you hadn't jumped in.
Jump seat. Can I just sit, or Star Citizen? Yeah, or Star Citizen. Like, there's, like, because there's aspects of this game that I am a fan of, where it's like, they've improved, like, they've given us a different lock-picking mini-game, which I very much like. It's a little more puzzle than just, oh, luck of the toothpick sitting in the right position out of the 360 degrees that it could be in and such. I like that it's changed from that. I like how the over-encumbered system has been redone. So instead of it just being a case of, oh, you will just slow down to a crawl when you're overweight, instead, you'll notice it in the bottom left where it just starts playing into your O2 levels. So, like, at one point, you just will be way too tired, and then you'll take on CO2, which is detrimental, and all that kind of nonsense. So I like that they've done those kinds of things. Wait, so cargo hold is there. Was there, like, a different place I could store my shit? Not by the looks of it. Alright.
Chat has come together and thinks you should do 20 squats during the break.
Ah. Alright, 20 squats then. Alright, here we go. You agree? Good Bethesda game? Kinda so-so space, but you're also spending too much time in the base building. Oh, has it got, like, a lot of base building stuff like it did back in Fallout 4? Alright, 20 squats, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. Thank you for the 20 squats. Just for them diving into it, they're doing a good job. Of course, the bugs can make you laugh hysterically. Yeah, that's fair. I remember... Hang on a sec. So, right now that's the chameleon. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Blend in with the environment and ballistic shielding. Just trying to... Yeah, modified Equinox will go in there. Calibrated, Star Roamer. Fishbowl. Hazmat suit. The labs. Solstice board game. Hammer. Dun 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 dun. Deck of cards. Sorry, I'm like, now I'm just out of breath like an idiot. Store all of that. Store the membrane, the nutrients. Sealant. Oh, I'm at max capacity. Okay. Alright. Thank you for the head pats. But yeah, no, it's, it is a good Bethesda game, I think is the thing. I remember someone was, like, doing a video a while ago, and it's popped... I think the subject, like, that subject of the video has popped up a few times on YouTube as well. The discussion about, how you can get, you know, you can get good games, but if they go into a franchise that's not... that doesn't mesh with the genre and such like that, it then turns into a... It turns into, by accident, a bad game because it's in the wrong franchise for it. Like maybe like having, say, for example, like a stealth game in a Warhammer might not sit well, especially if you have like the Tau for it or what have you, or you try and do a dating sim. Alright, undock. Can you fly to Uranus? Let's see. I can't fly to Uranus. Give me a moment. This is the part that I don't like about this. Like, this is the thing of space game that I don't like, and I'm not 100% certain how else Bethesda could have done this, but basically, set a course to Uranus. This is how their flying happens, and that's like something that I feel like No Man's Sky doesn't have this problem. No Man's Sky somehow makes it, like, even on a keyboard and mouse, they make the flying from like one planet to another fun and engaging and not needing to be fast travel and such. Whereas in this game, it's like it's all just fast travel nonsense, which isn't as great. By the by, you can like shoot these. G? Is it gonna... There we go. I was wondering when it was gonna break. Mineral deposit, please. Why won't it let me pick up the mineral deposit, I wonder? Come on. And now I'm just shooting it away. Okay. And... there must be a way for me to just pick up the thingamadoogs. Alright, oh, come on. Ah, god damn you. Alright, fine, fuck it. Oh, I probably can't pick up anymore because my cargo hold is full. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure someone has already like double-checked this. It took them a while to like get to like a planet and what have you, but they flew like all the way to this thing, which is like, actually, let me see if let me just minimize all the power to these things and go. Alright, here we go. Because this is just like a flat PNG, I believe. Because it was, I think her name was Alana. She used to be on Funhouse, but now she's a writer for the studios that done God of War and what have you. And she, like, flew all the way to Pluto. And she didn't crash into Pluto or anything like that. She just, like, slipped through it. Like, that's the problem with some Bethesda games, is that there are invisible walls in this game, or there's just, you know, shadow puppets here and there. Which is just really, hey, don't steal my shirt like that. I want that shirt back. Like, what? Let's see if it will, so I'm 0.3. How long is it gonna take for me to get to... You know the article / vid? Yeah. Okay, that's annoying. Because... Alright, hang on. Where is me? Is it gonna... Like... I don't know what this unit of measurement is, but by God, is it like a huge number. Like, I don't think, like, there's no fun in, like, physically traveling from one system another. It's just fast travels everywhere. It's a fast travel to a different star system. It's a fast travel to a different planet. It's a fast travel down to the surface. Meanwhile, No Man's Sky didn't have that. No Man's Sky, like, it started you on a planet, so you did, like, your exploration, and you're like, god damn, this thing is huge. You didn't hit invisible walls with the planet as well. By the time you got back to your ship and it's like, okay, let's head into orbit, it's literally just LS. Am I reading that right for the type of measurement? Yes. Capital L, capital S. Like... It just feels like... It just doesn't feel like fun to travel from planet to planet. It's very busybody of like, oh, just, you know, like, oh, we got a mission where we got to go to like an entirely different place. It's like you set a course and it will like do all the zoom ins and such like that. And then you just fast travel there. It's just... LS is light second. Ah, okay. You're trying to travel at the speed of light.
Did you know I used to have an
Ugh.
office near the top of Mast? How far the mighty have fallen, eh?
I have no clue what mast
Back
is.
to the lodge, shall we? Talk to you later.
Oh boy. So, and that's the thing I think that's my thing I don't like, and that's gonna bother me the more I play this as a whatsamahoozy. The more I play this as a what's the word? The more I try and play it as like a space game, is that I'm just gonna be upset with the amount of like, oh, it's not like it's, you know, let's see, oh wait, is there like unlimited storage here? All right, hang on. Miscellaneous. Someone mentioned in like a tutorial video that there's like a box you could just transfer all the useless shit into. It's like an unlimited storage as well, so there's no issue in like the weight of it or anything like that. And it's somewhere around here. Also, I've already nicked the spacesuit from here because, like, they did not fix, like, watch this shit. You can, like, let's see if I can do it again. Unless, did they already, there it is. There's like a slither of a, there you go. There's a sliver of a crack where you can just look through. Actually, you can, it's a pretty decent gap. So you can look through the crack, and instead of going for the door, you go to the mannequin and you just like tug it out. It's quite hilarious. All right, jump. So these are all cooking and medicine shit. Is my... Oh, okay, so we got Coachman there. Let's grab the case list there. Zero wire, thank you very much. Some adaptive frames, thank you very much. And, alright, let's get back to the whatsamahoozies. Hang on a second. Because we're probably still in, like, tutorial land right now.
Did you...
We have it. Go ahead.
It fits. Energy spiked a bit, but it's restabilized.
Alright.
Is there anything new showing up?
No, it's the same as before.
The map is getting a little more detailed.
Is added, then it harmonizes.
You're trying to... No way to upgrade. There is a way to upgrade. You can, like... Here's the thing.
Speculation.
You can customize the spaceship. It is crazy, the level of customization. Like, people have recreated the Razor Crest from Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon, the ship from Futurama. What does it mean to be a full member?
This just makes it more official. Call it right person, right place, right time. But once the artifacts started coming together,
so
you were one of us.
They did the same thing with the best gun in the game. Oh, I'm going to need to find that gun then.
Relic bottle from Earth. We'll all be happy to share it with you.
Hello.
By the way, how would you like to keep traveling?
Hi there, Sir
Fondlebottom.
I absolutely laughed when I first saw your name. It was fantastic. Welcome, welcome.
Constellation, and I'm going to be out there for it. And I want you out there as well. You got results.
Go suck a lemon.
You got it, Sarah. Let's get out there.
We've got a few more leads we should talk. First, there's an expedition that Samco has been putting together. It's in Freestar Collective Space, and he knows it inside and out. There's also the Eye, our star station in orbit. About time for you to meet Vladimir. He's been hard at work tracking down more anomalies. And last but not least, Noel. Have we heard anything from Barrett yet?
A courier from Argos Extractors came by to let us know they're packing up the operation on Vectera. But that's it.
That's not good. We should get over there and check on Barrett in person.
Alright, sounds good. Let's trade
Feel free
gear.
to drop some...
Can I just, like... You know what? I'm gonna take all her stuff. It's gonna, like, over-encumber me, but... I need to talk to...
I know everyone's excited by the article. As much as I love uncovering new questions, I wouldn't mind a few answers now and then. Anything I can learn from is a help.
Alright, resources... So I... Actually, I was wondering about the types of work besides the
Of
artifact.
course. There's plenty of planets out there that no one has ever set foot on, and everything we learn about them is valuable.
Yep.
We have a board where we post anything specific we're looking for. A type of alien flora or fauna.
Isn't there a way for her to, like, show me around again? How long have you been working on
Well,
this?
Constellation's been around forever. More than 50 years now. Barrett discovered the first one about 2 years ago, right under our noses. It's a shame he isn't here to see this. Stay safe, okay?
Bet you never expected to end up involved in something like this. Are you doing okay? I'm not sure anyone really asked yet. Don't want you... You matter too. You've done... I'm Mateo. Theological scholar by trade.
All came out of caves?
Second one was on Kazal. Buried, the same as the one you found. But the first one, right under our noses for years, sitting in storage. Can you imagine? But... Take care of yourself.
Okay, how do I... Because she gave me a tour, and I did not pay attention. She gave me a tour of this place, and I was like, yep, cool, and I didn't do anything... Nope. No, not out here. Not out here. I wasn't paying attention to, like, where all the, whose rooms were
I wonder if any
what.
discovery reports have come in while we were away.
So, because it could be any of these rooms, quite frankly. And I have... Ooh, credit stick. Thank you. Constellation seems imminent until member Chloe changed her vote in the 11th hour, thus ensuring the group's continued operations, at least for the time being, as well as her unexpected appointment to the position of chair. So this group is definitely like the British Whatsamahoozee Explorers Guild. 2276. Cannot be bothered reading all that. Which room is mine? Is it like... No, that's a bathroom. This is probably not my room. This is a science room? This is probably her.
It's been quiet. I hope Barrett makes it back to us. See you later.
Alright. Is this my room? No, this doesn't look like my... What room would be mine? So, because that's someone else's. Don't think that's mine. This looks too fancy to be mine. I haven't been in here before. Weapons case. Inaccessible. Inaccessible. Who's fucking... Okay, so that's not my room. Let's close those doors. Nope. CO2. Alright, Grant, I'm gonna head out. Have a good rest of the stream. Not to worry, Fakovia. Thank you for sitting in and watching as I fumble around in this room. I have no clue where my room is. Hang on a second. Starfield... Consolation room. Consolation room. Lodge, where is your room in the consolation? So, accept all cookies. Looking for your room in the lodge. The lodge can be found east of the mass district. The lodge is fairly labyrinth. You'll come to our specially made... We'll show you everything on the lodge and how to get there, including how to reach your own room in the lodge with ease. Nice. Okay, so Alright, so we got the big library here. Greenhouse is over there. Alright, so here... Sarah and Walter, I believe is how it looks. I think that's the right way around. And then... Bathroom. That's Null with her lab. That's Mateo. So my room is... Oh, so this is my room. It's very busy in this room. Okay, so storage. Inventory. Miscellaneous item. Is there a way for me to just store... Like, hang on a sec. The Lodge. Quick store resources. Like, I swear there was like a chest or something like that where I, like, the stuff would just, like, there was just a quick store button. I am, alright, hang on. View the community hub. Yep, I'm fine with, you have a bunch of crowds in way 3+, and there's like 500 different email. Your ship only has 430. I left the first planet already on the border of being overloaded, and you're supposed to just travel somewhere, pick up the 2 iron you need, and travel to another planet to pick up 2. What the fuck is this? Your room in the lodge has an infinite storage locker. Cool. Your ship has 2 storages. Your captain's locker. The first is located on the right-hand side. When the second is located on the left-hand side. When approaching the cockpit, you can store very little in the captain's lodge. And can add thingamajiggies. Train the weightlifting. Train the payload. Don't keep common crafting. Keep the common crafting materials that weigh a fraction action to make it. Okay, that does not help me. Where to store? Okay, hang on a second. Watching tutorials, trying to figure out where shit goes. Okay, so it is just a case of I need to put everything of mine... I need to put everything of mine into this thing. Cool. Alright. Give me a second. Okay, time for soup and rest. It was fun seeing you at this time. Not to worry, unnamed. Hope you have good sleeps. Or a good rest. Alright, resources. There we go. Cool, the notes weigh nothing. I'll keep them. You know, I'm just gonna put everything in here. How is there just... no, there's like a way to grab everything out of a storage, but there's nothing to throw everything into storage. Alright, let's keep to the flashy leatherware. No. Helmets. Anti-ballistic ground crew space helmet. Keep the helmets down to a minimum. Space roamer. I do like the chameleon suit, so I'm gonna keep to that one. Space roamer, and then weapons. Combat knife. We need to keep a cutter. I've got 3 different equinoxes. I'm not really gonna be using a lot of these, I feel. Scout's equinox, the side star. I will keep this one. Suppress, calibrated. Yep, I will keep that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. Cool, 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 cool. And then those are our different throwables. And then we have all kinds of ammunition. Our notes. Alright. So, storage, inventory, storage, it. Oh my goodness, I can't look at my shipped inventory and then pull. Oh my god. New items? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, this game. It's this Skyrim problem. Oh, it's gonna be that Skyrim problem, isn't it? Yep. It's gonna be that Skyrim. Ship. Cargo hold. Alright. Why can't I... Oh. Ooh, some things never die. Yep, some things never die. Oh boy. Some things never die. Alright, let's just keep moving on with the mission that is selected here.
I cannot wait to meet him. It's been ages since Constellation.
What the fuck are you guys?
I wonder what he...
Bye! You.
And you must be the latest poor fool to get dragged into our dysfunctional little family.
Hi, cowboy. The Freestar Collective expert.
Whoa. I know a few dark sides of the Aquila Moons, but if you're looking for deep history lessons, well, I'm gonna fall asleep before you do.
Trust me. Don't encourage him. Corvo,
The
by
audacity.
The way. Hi.
Aren't you a little young to be a space
There's
explorer?
No, you have to be this tall. Sign for space.
The package
I
may be
feel
small,
like there
she
is.
can handle herself.
I feel like there is, like, quite literally a you must be this tall to do space travel. And what's more is you're underage. Like, your brain hasn't, like, fully developed and shit.
Nice
good
to meet anyone brave enough to fly the frontier.
Know a thing or two about spacecraft, do we?
Hey, don't spook our new friend. Frontier's a fine ship. Now, let's talk business. Sarah tell you about the expedition?
Only that it was a Freestar Collective base.
Sure enough. That's where we're heading. The three of us are heading to Aquila, first settled planet of the Freestar Collective, and, not coincidentally, the home of their capital, Aquila City. We'll land in the city's spaceports, but the frontier's our goal. It's rough country. Spawned a lot of stories. And I got a lead on a tale that, makes me think one thing. Artifact.
Uh-huh. Frontier territory beyond civilization? It's a little risky.
That's why I needed backup for this one. But don't let the old children's tales about the Ashta get to you. The real thing is way worse.
That's Adam Jensen! I just realized with his fucking, like, gravelly whiskey tone. That motherfucker right there. This one. Okay, that guy. That is the voice of Adam Jensen from, like, Deus Ex Mankind or Mankind Divided and Human Revolution and such.
Okay. We'll meet you on board your ship. Once we land on Aquila, it's gonna be you and me. So if you want to do any freewheeling before then...
Cool. Alright. So yeah.
Feel free to help yourself at the bar. I don't drink.
There are some moments in this game where I'm like, this is incredible. And then there's other moments where I'm like, God damn it, why is this an RPG problem still? Why is inventory an RPG problem in this game? Dragon Age, like, solved it by not doing a weight issue and just being like, look, resources just automatically, they're in your stronghold.
Sergeant Yumi's looking for reliable people to help the guard. Contact him if you're interested. We'd all... Hey there.
Alrighty. Let's just set that as our active mission then. And let's go on a little run. Meow. Oh, gotta be careful. But yeah, like, why is resource management like such a weirdy one in Bethesda where it's just, oh, it's all backpack shit. Let's see, what's this thing? I saw that in the corner of my... Oh. It's literally just a key. I thought it was going to be something cool.
Lately I've been getting these rashes under my thighs, and I think it's chafing from the pilot seat.
It's a weird pilot seat, to be real with you. Spaceport? Yeah, so it's like... There might be, like, a non-fast travel way of getting through this city and what have you, but I've not seen it yet. I have not been able to do it. Also, am I going the right way? Check out the Constellation mission board. Also, like, pressing escape, I'm gonna be real. It should only... Grant, you're sleepy. I'm sorry that you're sleepy. I am wired right now. I am awake. I just finished my ice mocha. There's probably a time that I'm going to need to go to the bathroom in the next, like, however many minutes, but it's not this second.
Chat has come together and thinks you should do 10 squats during the break.
It might be this second because it's a thingy-majiggy. Alrighty.
Sure.
I'm gonna do my 10 squats and I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Listen, I smoothed over that between Mateo
Here we go.
at the sanctum.
I'd hardly
One,
call it an incident.
2,
more of a debate.
3, 4.
But I appreciate it just the same.
5, 6.
In the meantime,
7.
you could tell him to take it down a notch.
8, 9.
Thanks again,
10.
Sergeant.
Alright. I am gonna head to the bathroom because it's an advertisement break. There we go. Alright. Dunk. Alrighty. I am back. Alright. Not gonna lie, the ad break was comically timed. It very much was. If like you can probably even do like a thing of, hang on a second, I need to swap over to here. Hi there, Gerald. Welcome to the stream. I don't normally stream in the mornings, let alone Tuesday mornings, but it was something that I wanted to do and such like that. If one of my moderators is online, could we get a shout out over to Gerald, please? The cool ass Final Fantasy what's-mahoozies?
Well, hello. You hear about the job by any chance? The officer over there can help you with any bounty issues.
Nice. Saw the sign outside.
You did, huh? Gotta admit, I was against the sign at first. Felt cheesy, you know? Like we're hiring a dishwasher or one of those dancing clowns. But here you
Clowns
are.
are scary.
Can't argue with effectiveness. And if nothing else, New Atlantis security is just that. Effective. When we're fully staffed, that is. But we're not. Long story. And need some help.
Damn. Alright. Dink donk. Geralt. There we go. There's a shout out.
You interested?
Yes. Tell me what I need to do.
Well, first things first, I have to ask, do you have any security experience at all?
Me? None whatsoever. I had a run-in with the Crimson Fleet. Don't know if that counts.
It sure counts for something. I mean, you're alive. And resilience is definitely an important trait for any officer.
Yay.
Well, I think I've heard all I need.
That's all he needed to hear is, oh, you survived a terrorist.
And check in with Agent Plato at Aegis. There was a package left at a dead drop, and they need UC security to handle it. He'll fill you in on the details.
Gosh darn. Yeah, who are they?
Aegis? They're basically UC intelligence. They help identify threats to New Atlantis before they become problems. While we're
So the
separate
CIA,
departments, but there are times we need to rely on each other, so it's important to keep a good working relation. We do Agent Plato this favor, and maybe he'll toss us some intel when an investigation.
All right.
Let me know if you have any questions.
Needies. All right. So. Wait, can I
The
open
well's
this?
been having brownouts all the time. Mast finally sent someone down there, but nothing's changed.
All kinds of activities, I see. Alright, vice grip. Don't need you watching what I'm doing.
I desire no company. Leave. I have nothing to say.
Who are you?
I am a prisoner. Trapped by a weak people.
This guy is hot. What, me? Or are you talking about the earlier perp? How did you end up in that
The
cell?
Great Serpent called me to fight the unbelievers in the United Colonies. But I was ambushed, and my ship disabled. Now, I am here.
There probably would have been some unique dialogue if I was a worshipper of the Great Serpent.
You don't need to wear your helmet on this planet. You know that, right?
You didn't hear this from me, but those ecliptic mercenaries, the factions use them sometimes. Freestar Collective and UC both. It's why they give them a wide berth. Ask me, those murdering assholes.
But yeah, any whoosies. Alright, out of this tower, the Asian general guy. Oh, okay. Apparently there's someone on New Atlantis who's Maui, and in the early access, they had, I don't know the correct terminology, but they had a, it's either, I think it's called a toma, but it's basically it's a traditional tattooing style that is upon the face and such. In the early access, the guy had it, whereas in the game on release, I have not seen the guy yet, apparently it's not on him anymore. And some people argue that, you know, the people that were arguing about it weren't ever going to play the game, and the people that are upset about it being gone now are, you know, people who were interested in the game and were interested in the Maui culture, and they just feel like, oh, you've just, like, you bent over for a group that had no interest in playing this game at all, just throwing like whatever kind of caution to the window. Like when people complain about pronouns in RPGs, it's like, your biggest problem is not those people. If their biggest issue with a video game is pronouns, they would have been having problems all the way since 1991 with Pokemon.
There are always about a million things to do, and I'm only one person. It's so overwhelming. Hey! Oh, sorry. I shouldn't assume. Maybe you go by Carl. We're supposed to be investigating a power drain down here.
Oh, hang on.
I can't be in two places at once.
I could assist
well,
you.
Since you're here, what I need is very technical. The first box we're looking for is over near UC Circle.
Pronouns in my art. That's exactly how they are. Like, hang on. Like, there's a GIF out there. Hang on a sec. Like, I think they've now made it into a Swojak pronouns GIF. Let me find it. It's just so dumb. Soy Jack, that's it. Soy Jack, that's the... I drew the British man being mad at... No, where is it? Images. It's just so, like, it's just so dumb, like the people being upsetties about this shit. Also, I very much would prefer if Starfield just didn't stop the music. This meme right here. People on Twitter that didn't like Starfield. Game is woke trash. Pronouns everywhere. Leave politics out of the game, except for the politics I agree with. Yada yada yada. People that did Starfield. I haven't slept in 3 days. Same, bro. Check out my ship. Fucking cool. Like, I thought it was just the one person, but apparently, like, even Dr. Disrespect is like, he absolutely hates how pronouns are added in there because he didn't get an opportunity to, like, do any marketing for Starfield or anything like that prior to the game or anything like that. And it's just like, dude, you know, you were seen as a marketing risk.
Glad I can count on someone.
We like marketing doesn't even get that shit right half the time on the side of they pick someone they shouldn't have. I think you saw the clip of who started it. Yeah. All right, hang on. Hit this thing. It's just Isn't he banned from like all and marketing for a lot of things? Dr. Disrespect is on YouTube. He was banned from Twitch. We don't know why he was banned from Twitch. And because he was banned from Twitch, and we never got an explanation for why it was, a lot of people, like, you know, who were executives and such like that, looked at Dr. Disrespect and were like, look, we are not going to, you know, take a flight risk like that. That's the thing about marketing is there are cases where they're either going to be very, very particular about the people they work with because they feel like they can't afford risk, or they're going to, like, you know, make a message and such like that and double down. In the corporate environment, doubling down is never as fun as you think it is. Like, artistic integrity is not a thing in the corporate world, especially in the marketing department. Artistic integrity in design or development are very much things, like the whole doubling down thing like that, because you've invested however much money and resources into actually, like, you know, making the thing you want to make. But as far as advertising goes, like, the first thing that people see, the first, like, foray into, hey, try this thing I put all my love and effort into, oh, you will absolutely pull out of that kind of marketing strategy if you have a whiff of a problem. So, So yeah, so Dr. Disrespect, he went back onto YouTube. We never got a conclusion for why Twitch banned him in the first place and cut, because this, and like what's more, it wasn't just a case of like, oh, Dr. Disrespect, you know, broke some rules and such like that, and Twitch was like, listen, you've done it too many times, we're kicking you out. They banned him and they removed him from the partners program and the Twitch ambassadors, like, and this was like a few weeks after they put him onto that thing. This was after they announced that they were extending his contract and shit. Something happened behind doors or something in the public that we don't think was a big deal. Twitch, after all their investment into him, just decided to cut Dr. Disrespect, and they had to, and so he went to YouTube afterwards. But even after he went to YouTube, about half his revenue was cut. And that was before he was able to recover, because what are we talking about? We're talking about Dr. Disrespect, because the audacity of this man playing a character, like, he plays a character similar to how Asmongold is a character on the internet and such like that. Dr. Disrespect, like, wanted to be a part of this game. He wanted to, like, you know, do early access plays, or, you know, because he's running a game company now, he wants to, like, sort of dip into, like, marketing for it and such like that. And Bethesda's / Microsoft, they looked at him and they went, you know, we appreciate it, but we're fine. No, we don't want you for this. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like I would be a decent inclusion in your marketing if you give me a chance. And they're like, look, you know, with how you are in the political landscape and, like, you know, the public census, we don't think you're appropriate. And so they moved on. He moved on, obviously, with a little chip on his shoulder, because when the game finally did release and he's playing it and he gets through the character creator, he gets hit with, like, the pronouns option at the very end, the he, him, they, them, she, her thing. And it's like, I don't know if this is, if he was hoping it would just be a bit, but he goes onto Twitter, he finds the guy who created Starfield, looks at his Twitter profile, sees that he has him at the end, and he's just like, oh, it all makes sense. And then he goes on a rant about how he wasn't able to do, like, because of how Bethesda or Microsoft saw his like his image on the internet and in the public in the public space. They were like, oh, we don't want you for this game, or so we don't want to politicize this or something or rather. And he's like ready to go on a rant because they won't let him do things on his, like, in a video game genre that, let's be real, he doesn't exactly like. There are aspects of RPGs he's not a fan of. He wasn't able to get into Starfield as much as he wanted to. I'm pretty sure he didn't have as much fun on ESO either, or in Drag. Like, a lot of the games he likes playing are first-person shooters that are strongly first-person shooter. He's a variety. I think he's a variety gamer by trade, but he's not a variety gamer in, like, spirit, is the thing. Like, with me, it's like, I will dip into, like, whatever fucking game, because, like, sure, I like my Bethesda game. Like, I've gone through Skyrim and finished that. I never finished Oblivion, but I definitely went through a lot of Oblivion. Fallout 3 I finished, Fallout 4 I finished, didn't touch 76 because I didn't want to do a multiplayer thing, and plus it was like a prequel, but then it's like, oh, I will dip into Dark Souls. I play a whole ton of the different From Software games because that's kind of in that weird little checklist of, oh, do you want a diversified portfolio as a gamer? It's like, yep, then you're gonna do your From Software, you're gonna do your turn-based, you're gonna try the RTS. I'm not a fan of the RTS, though. I will be real with you, there's very few RTSs out there that have been able to be like, yes, I will take it. Most of the RTSs, I do it because of a friend, like Age of Empires or Age of Mythology. I've not done Total War, though. Maybe that one will be entirely different.
I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to discuss.
Ah, right. You're Sergeant Yumi's recruit.
Yeah, he just went on. So yeah,
Taller than I
like,
expected.
and this British dude just being upsetties over pronouns in a video game. They're not. It's not the pronouns that they're upset about. It's not the video game they're upset about. It's something, like, probably far worse in their head that is an anthill for us that we really could not give a shit about. I'm not sure how you would know that.
Statistical average, psychological tendencies, a sergeant's need to tower over his subordinates. But really, it was just a joke. I meant nothing by it.
I wasn't listening to this guy's dialogue, so I have no clue what he's talking about.
We have a dead drop that we think has been compromised. So I'd like someone from UC Security to handle the pickup instead.
I should really have like a list of talking points the next time I go into my streams. Just so then that, like, I had it, like, I think way back in the beginning, but I never properly referred to it once chat actually started going on and such. Because, like, you know, some of the things I might write, like I've written down in the past, long ass time ago, chat didn't, like, you know, stick to it and wanted to, like, have a discussion about. But because then there would be, like, something else to talk about, and then I would just go on my nice, you know, autistic half-an-hour rant.
Take the NAT to the spaceport. There should be a Galbank ATM right next to the station.
All right.
The package is taped under one of the benches. Grab it and deliver it to Sergeant Yumi and the job's done.
All right.
Good luck with the mission.
Nice. So yeah. Because, like, because I went from, you know, let's see. Nat Station, talking about pronouns and how some people get soy about it. Dr. Disrespect and his, like, whole, like, debacle. And now into, you know, variety gaming, how there's, like, a series of, what's-a-mahoozy. There's, like, a checklist of games that I feel like people say it's like, oh, as a gamer, you should be playing these games. Portal 2, Half-Life 2. Actually, no, sorry. Portal 1, not Portal 2. Half-Life 2 for some reason. Not Half-Life 1. I will be real. I'd not heard very many people saying Half-Life 1 is like an important thing to play, but a lot of people mention Half-Life 2. Alright, get the package. And let's be on our way. Jump.
Still behind on my work. When's the report due, anyway?
New Atlantis offices needed. Nice. So yeah. Any of the Pokemon main franchise releases, those ones I feel like are another one everyone plays at least once.
It's really hard to find good help these days. That being said, my luck seems to be turning around. We've gotten a lot of new personnel as of late, not just you. Who knew all I had to do was put up a sign?
Glad it worked out.
As am I. And the best part is, since you're all part-timers, there's no paperwork. Anyway.
Nice.
Here's your payment. And if I have any more work for you, I'll let you know.
Alrighty. Is there work for me?
If it isn't. I've got nothing at the moment, but come back later. And I might have some...
Thank you for subscribing with Prime, Red. I really appreciate it.
Thanks
Lol,
for the
that
Prime
was
subscription, Red_Loop93.
Take care.
It's kind of funny. Twitch picked up on it first, and then the rest of the system did. Thank you so much, Red. I very much appreciate it. You don't have to deal with advertisement, and you get to use all of... Let's see, where's the button? These emotes. Right here. Look at all those emotes. Isn't it wonderful?
Bartender at the viewport would stop complaining to security. I don't know what she lost, but she won't get it back by annoying us.
Alright. Alright. So, empty nest. Back to Thingy-Madiggy. Into the unknown. I've agreed to help track down a power drain. I found a secret note. Oh, alright, I need to check out a note. Constellation Guide 1, Deimos survey data. Nope.
It's loose. The Terramorph is dead.
Priority communicate all eclectic personnel. Recent meetings with representatives of both the Freestar Collective and United Colonies have confirmed what we...
You're welcome. Been following you for a bit. First time I can actually watch the stream and figured I'd support you. I greatly appreciate it. I'm situated in Australia, so, like, time zones is probably going to be absolutely terrible until I bring back, like, a regular morning stream or something like that.
You have full authority to appropriate any equipment on behalf of Ecliptic.
Attention Ecliptic personnel. We've received viable intel on the location of another colony war era facility, specifically a research lab. It's somewhere in the Nerian system, possibly already occupied by pirates of the Crimson Fleet. As has already been...
Nope. Sebastian Banks. Nope. Secret outpost. Loyal to your crew, I get it, but screw that. Beg, borrow, steal, kill to get to the Denoba IB. There's a secret outpost we're trying to crack. Once in a lifetime opportunity. You'll regret it for the rest of your life if you don't get your ass over here.
Supervisor's log supplemental. Still day 2 of August.
This is Vanguard Moira. Sorry if I had to reclaim some UC property, but this whole star yard is overrun. I've patched up my ship, and I'm heading to...
Alright, so there's a secret outpost on Denobla IB then.
But until then, if any of you thugs are listening, I'm the damn ghost stealing your stuff in the night. Clear out while you have the chance.
Bored.
Give the word.
You always get my notifications at like 3 a.m. Yeah, it's probably not the best time to wake up and watch a stream. I'ma be real with you. And I'm an idiot for doing so. Alright, actually, take. Hang on, all. And I'm doing this just so then that way I can go back to my whatsamahoozy lodge, and then I'll just drop all that shit off there. Like, look at all this stuff that I have just sitting in the cargo hold. There we go. I'm gonna be over encumbered as shit. Alrighty, so that's the cargo hold. And, ooh. The learned astronomer. Alright, hang on. Alright, let's see. Main, factions, miscellaneous, missions, activities. Oh my god, there's like so many. Use a hand scanner to place an outpost. Speak to Commander about joining the Vanguard. Talk to the scientist by the tree. Speak with Trevor. Speak with... So many of these I'm probably not going to deal with. Ooh, hang on. Skills. I got 4 skill points I can now apply. Perform 10 sneak attacks. Can I do the weightlifting thing? Nope, because I have not ranked up. Complete previous thingamadoogies. God damn you. What's this? Scavenging.
Chat has come together and thinks you should do 10 squats during the break.
I swear I already did that. Maybe I'm wrong. Unlock the rank to increase skills. There's a chance you'll find extra ammo. There's a chance you'll find extra aids. Tracing. Tracked resources will be highlighted when using the hand scanner. Oh, okay. Yep. These are actually like worthwhile thingamadoogies to enhance. Let's see. Ballistics, certification, sharpshooter, crippling. And then we got science. Using a boost pack. Double previous thingamadoogs. Security. I am going to unlock this one. Alright. 10 squats. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Quick and easy. There we go. Alright, you can attempt to lock. You get to the thingies. Pick 5 locks. Unlock previous thingamadoogs. Sounds good to me. Sprint for 2,500 meters while at 75% or more of your maximum capacity. Alright. Map. Check out the constellation. What the? Am I going the right way? Hopefully I'm going the right way. There we go. The payload skill will make guard ships less likely to detect contraband. Oh! Neat.
I have something for you when you have a moment.
Sprinting while I have like...
to be home.
Here we go. I'm about to... Okay, so I need to go up there and hang a right. Alrighty. I just need to wait for the oxygen to refill to like about full or something like that. And then we should be good. Get ready. We're doing this just to quickly like speed through the whole running with like the 75% thingamadoogs. Here we go. Transfer. Inventory. All right, here we go. So keep the cutter. 12, 16. All right, put that away. Put that away. Put that away. All right, so that's all that. Mark 1 spacesuit and the space tracker. Helmet. Oxygen and the basic thingamadoog. Alright, no. Baseball cap, engineering outfit, the 2 hazmats. And then ammo, aid. Here we go. No. Because I will need those. And let's see. Resources. Donk. Pressing rapidly on all of these resources. Bing, 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 bing. Come on, you can do it. Alright, and then miscellaneous shit. Here we go. I will be real with you, I do collect a lot of nonsense that I probably don't need. Okay, why am I still... okay, so ship parts I need to put in the cargo hold, that's for sure. I'm keeping this for the ranged nonsense. That I need to do things. That is my stealth. That's just to do better damage. Wait, what does the axe do? 17 while in space, minus while on a planet. Okay. Poison Kraken, I need more bullets for it. What is the learned astronomer? Alright. Alright, let's have a look at storage and let's see what options we have for aid. Suppresses addiction symptoms. Nope, I'm not addicted to anything. Antibiotics and bandages I'm gonna need. Sure, let's take the sandwich, the cola, celery. Bunk. 20 health, 14 oxygen for 10 minutes. Apples, beef, cola. Lager, drink, grapes, healing gel, burns. Plus 20% health for 2 minutes. Yep. Treats dislocated limbs, fractured thingy-madoogies. Carrying capacity, damage resistance, health. 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 Woo! Toast! Restores health and carrying capacity. Plus 8. Alright. And then yogurt is health again. We'll keep the drugs in here. So those are our helmets. These are our space packs. These are the different suits. Consolation, and then... Ah! Alright. Alright. Should be better now. Oh my god. Oh, I have to hold it to escape, don't I? Alright, so I'm at 153 out of 160. That's good, because that means that I'm able to... Alright, hang on. Aid. Value. I can't drop that. I'm gonna eat the sandwich, drink the pop. A boosted injector used for thingamadoogies. Health. Minus 15. Oh, yeah, it makes me exhausted. Alright. Reload you. And... Alright. Will it let me craft... Is there a way for me to craft ammunition? Industrial. Let's have a look. Adaptive frames... No. So that doesn't craft what I need. This is spacesuits. So that would be for chameleon. So ballistic shielding, mod 2. I can do... Oh, I can't do any of these because they require mods that I have not researched. Ah! Darn you. And then weapon bench. Ooh, cutter. Oh, I can't change anything about the cutter. God damn it. Exterminated, calibrated. Alright, let's have a look at the muzzle. If I wanted a suppressor, I need muzzle mods Mark II. Damn you. Alrighty. Running around New Atlantis to get my... what's-mahoozy. Where was I in my train of thought with Red? I remember I was talking about, like, stream schedules and such, I swear. Oh, yeah. I have the intention of... Like, I probably do need to redo my, stream schedule and what have you, because, you know, I do have Americans and such like that, and me streaming in the mornings would, like... It would probably allow them a better opportunity of being able to watch me while I stream and such, because that basically... What time is it right now in the States? It's like, let's see, it's 11:51 a.m. I've been streaming for maybe 2 hours now. Hang on a second. Speak about joining the Vanguard. Let's head to Mast. Like... Because if I start streaming at like 10 or 9 a.m., that's like 7 in the evening for them yesterday. For Eastern Standard Times, it's almost 10 p.m. Right, so it's almost 10 p.m. in like New York and Washington and such right now. So yeah, go back 2 hours and flip the day.
Hey, Sarah's friend.
Yeah, I think this was the guy who was meant to have the...
stripes with the Vanguard.
Tell me what I need to do next.
All right. Take the elevator down to the Vanguard Orientation Hall. You can get started at any of the registration terminals. The system will walk you through the rest. And if you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Nice. Alrighty. So, take the elevator down to the Orientation Hall. I'm doing all of this just so then that way I have like a better opportunity of, you know, exploring and such without worry of needing to go through story to get through there. To register for your examination, please select Enlisted Agreement. Any outstanding UC bounties must be paid before proceeding. By joining the United Colonies Vanguard, you agree to perform necessary services for the United Colonies that could place you in serious danger, resulting in harm to your craft or yourself, up to and including death. In exchange, the United Colonies Vanguard agrees to compensate all captains according to their experience level and the difficulty of the task requested. All applicants will be required to...
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. Earn a satisfactory grade on a simulated combat flight, successfully complete a probationary mission. Upon the completion of both prerequisites, the United Colonies agree to sponsor your citizenship application and guarantees the crafting of United Colonies citizenship once sufficient time or acts of valor have been warranted. Do you agree to the above commitment and wish to initiate your journey? Sure. You may now proceed to the examination chamber through the orientation hall.
Registration accepted. You may now proceed through the historical displays in the orientation hall, or continue on to the examination.
In 2150, humanity learned the Earth's
it's literally just a thingamajig.
eliminating all
history.
life on the planet. Decisive action was required, but the secure transport of an entire civilization would demand a new kind of cooperation, a new kind of courage, and a new kind of union. Thus, in 2159, the United Colonies were formed to make that journey possible. Just 1 year later, the Galileo, the first of many colony ships, touched down here on Jemison, beginning a new era of human history, the age of the United Colonies.
The effort and planning it must have taken to evacuate literally the entire...
From their foundation, the United Colonies strove to provide all their citizens with opportunity, security, and peace. But there were those among the UC. It was only in 2230 that the faction known as House Varun first made contact with the rest of the settled systems.
I am not properly paying attention to this, I will be real with you.
Founded by the passengers of a colony ship that had left New Atlantis and disappeared 4 decades earlier, House Varun was a faction.
Oh, okay, so they're not like fully remote. They came from a colony ship from Atlantis.
Dedicated wholly to the beliefs of its isolationist founder, Janan Varun. House Varun initially made overtures of peace towards the rest of the settled systems.
Thank you for the clip, Furry Cores.
They claimed their only intention was to spread the word of their god, the Great Serpent.
Oh!
But none could have guessed that this worship might take the form of a bloody war, the Serpent's Crusade. The Freestar Collective was initially founded in 2188, when the citizens of Aquila banded together with the pleasure city of Neon in mutual defense. But in 2194, after the deployment of a UC medical star station in orbit around their world, the citizens of Narion.
The Marion War, 2196, first large-scale conflict among the stars, is remembered as a defining moment for the settled systems. First major conflict to make extensive use of grab-jump-enabled ships, the Marion War was less defined by key space battles and more by an extended cat-and-mouse interplay between the two powers, as the well-armed and professional UC Navy tried again and again to pin down the piecemeal but savvy Freestar fleet. Unable to strike the killing blow, the UC resorted to even more severe tactics to try and drive the collective to capitulate. But without success, in fact, after many long years of war with little to show for it, even the populace of the UC itself began to turn against the cause, with protests roiling even New Atlantis. The citizenry demanded the war finally come to a humane close, so when at long last the final blow was struck with the UC Navy finally cornered and obliterating the Starfleet in 2216, it was a hollow victory. It was from the resulting negotiations, the Treaty of Narion, that the settled systems as we know them today emerged, both literally and figuratively. Despite winning the war, the UC found themselves in an unenviable position, painted as a brutal aggressor even in their home systems, so in the spirit of unity and lasting peace, the UC agreed to the demands of the Freestar Collective and the Narion settlers whose collusion triggered the conflict in the first place and handed over Narion to the Collective, as they had requested at the start of hostilities, including the Clinic Medical Star Station, creating the Freestar Collective as we know it to this day. In return, the UC demanded 2 concessions. The first was a payment for damages done in the form of mineral rights on multiple planet worlds across the galaxy. The second, more significant demand, was that no great faction may ever colonize more than 3 systems. The UC would have Alpha Centauri, Sol, and Wolf, and the Freestar Collective would have Shine, Voli, and Narion. The Freestar Collective agreed to these terms, creating and codifying into law the settled systems as we know them today. The Treaty of Narion has since become the foundation of all contemporary political relations, and its only official violation, the cause of the galaxy's greatest conflict, the Colony War. To learn more about the Colony War, please... Yep, cool. Nice. Thank you.
Also requested to join the Collective. Beginning in 2240, House Varun forces declared all-out war on the rest of human civilization, initiating the Serpent's Crusade. Of the many conflicts between the galaxy's factions, none was more brutal than the recent colony war between the UC and the Freestar Collective. Set off by the unauthorized Freestar colonization of Vesta's Pride in 2308, a direct violation of the Nerion Treaty, the colony war spread quickly across the galaxy. Both sides deployed every tool at their disposal. Armadas of warships, mechanized combat platforms, or mechs, even bioengineered alien creatures, the infamous UC xenoweapons. It was only in 2311 at the Battle of Cheyenne that the scales finally tipped. The Freestar Collective, utilizing their civilian fleet as a human shield, successfully crippled the superior United Colonies Navy. After their shocking victory against the galaxy's greatest navy, the Freestar Collective offered terms of peace, which the colonies, out of an interest in staving off any few settled worlds, were left untouched by the colony war.
Cool.
But nowhere could the viciousness of
This
modern
thing's
warfare
like
be
an
seen more
artist's
clearly.
rendition, right? No animal can be
In the
this
midst of
ugly.
the colony war, a different kind of tragedy struck the UC city of Londinian. A newly constructed but critical supply center for the United Colonies' war effort, Londinian found
Could not be bothered.
by the colony war. The UC and the Freestar Collective came together to ratify a treaty that became known as
By order of the Armis, there shall be established central archives guarded by 3 parties.
vast reduction in standing forces, and that xenoweapons and mech warfare would be outlawed. All related research was sealed away, accessible only in cases of dire emergency. But the Collective had another demand, that the active commanders of the UC military stand trial for their actions. The United Colonies, in the interest of peace and galactic security, agreed. In 2311, 3 United Colonies senior officers were found guilty. Commander Henry Durant, General Indira Rastogi, and Fleet Admiral Francois Sanon, known better as Ve Victus. All were sentenced to death for their actions, bringing the colony war to a close and returning peace to the galaxy at long last. It was into this new world that the Vanguard was born.
There are so many noises, I could not be bothered.
The Vanguard is the United Colonies volunteer fleet, serving a myriad of No one is born a United Colonies citizen. Only through service to the UC can one hope to earn one's citizenship.
Okay, that's...
But the UC prides itself on taking care of its people. Cost of living controls mean citizens pay less than their foreign counterparts for needs big and small. All citizens are issued a grant upon joining to get themselves on their feet. And only UC citizens have the opportunity to purchase property, getting the chance to live in one of the most beautiful cities in the settled systems.
Okay, so we can't steal those.
By joining...
Alright, so...
I have something I need to discuss with you.
United Colonies came into this area after Earth, like, blew itself up and shit like that. Some people, after they got to New Atlantis, were like, hang on, we're not interested in sticking around with the same people that made Earth responsible for turning into a desert wasteland. We're gonna do our own thing. Different people did their own thing. Some turned into isolationists, others turned into just, you know, the US in an entirely different... in an entirely different galaxy kind of thing. There was a war, twice, and we're here now, where the Vanguard is basically just the UC's volunteer force, which I feel like is more of a collective thing than, you know, a normal, you know, military thing.
Ah, you must be our new applicant. I'm Proctor Samuelson. The simulator's already been prepped. You can head in whenever you're ready.
Can you tell me about the exam?
You'll be running through a high-realism combat flight simulation, engineered by members of the UC science staff, right here in Mast. Your task is to defeat at least 3 tiers of simulated opponents. Accomplish that, and you pass the exam, and can then proceed on to your probationary mission. However,
I'm not a fan of
if you
slow
defeat
talk.
more than 3 tiers of enemies,
I don't know why. I'm
enlistment
not
time
a
for
fan of
citizenship
people
will be
talking
reduced,
slowly
and your enlistment bonus
about,
increased.
you know,
You're
long
welcome to try
ass
as
like
many times
history
as you like
stuff.
before
Like, I'd
returning
much
to Planet
rather
Tuala to Proceed on to the
either
next
a
step
little
in
bit
your
of emotion
application
into it,
process.
or
We'll
give
only
it to
keep
us
the
in
highest
text to
score
read
you
fast.
managed to achieve in there.
None of this like, and so we have in the next 10 years relative peace before we got attacked by the House Verdun. It's like, no, just tell me quickly. House Verdun attacked us. Got any advice?
While I can't answer that question directly, I will say this. Due to the solitary nature of our work, resourcefulness is a critical. You're permitted, even encouraged.
Nice.
The simulator is designed to be a near-perfect replica of a Class B Deimos hoplite, the United Colony's standard destroyer model. It's been tuned to provide a challenging but fair fight against the enemy.
Cool. All right.
All right, then.
Nice. Save, just so then that way I have that at the ready, and in we go.
To my crew, we should have a talk. When you have the time, of course.
Yeah, give me a minute, Sarah. I'm doing my own thing right now. Alrighty. Simulation time. Awaiting orders.
Your exam is simple. Defeat as many tiers of opponents as you can before your ship is disabled. You must defeat at least 3 tiers of opponents to pass the exam. Good hunting, applicant.
New targets active.
You must be able to do better than that. You won't defeat us. Target defeated.
All targets eliminated.
Oh my goodness, a raid by Snugs the Husky. Hi there. Welcome. I am currently sitting a simulated space exam. Give me a few.
Targets active.
Go suck a lemon.
I need to deal with like different tiers of like space.
Target defeated.
Alright, so that's the first one. Oh, Jesus Christ, this thing does not move very fast. Oh my god, go suck a lemon. Oh my goodness, who told you that? Did Furry Cures tell you to go in here? Hi everyone. Why are you looking at my ass?
Eliminated. Progress recorded. Tier 2 reached. Initiating Tier 3.
Alrighty, Tier 3 is... Thank you for the follow, Sparks Falcon. I greatly appreciate it. Alright, I need to go full throttle.
New targets active.
Locked in, here we go.
Insufficient.
Ah!
Target defeated.
Alright, locking in. Locked. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Defeated.
Oh, I am a fucking wizard at this right now.
Progress.
You recommended that you rated me. Ah, it was you.
You've defeated
How
sufficient
was...
to
I
pass
did
the
not...
exam.
Hang on a second. How was... What was it you were playing last? The Long Drive. How was The Long Drive?
You may now exit the simulator through the hatch to record your current score, or stay and try your hand at the remaining tiers.
I would like to... Prepare for your next target. Yes, please. Alright, let's reduce engine and put it into the ballistics, because the ballistic actually does quite a bit of damage.
Resuming the examination.
New targets active.
Come on. Oh, shields are offline. That's a problem. Cookie! Oh, I can't give you the cookie right now. I'm in space.
target defeated.
All targets eliminated. Progress recorded.
Emotional
Tier 4
damage.
reached.
It is emotional.
Initiating Tier 5.
Alright, hang on a sec. Sorry you didn't get your cookie fizz, I'm sorry to say. Zebra titties for the people. Oh jeez.
New targets active.
Oh my god, there's 5 of them. Alright, here we go. Shit. Your ship hull is... Press 0 to repair your ship if you've got...
Your progress ends here.
Getting surrounded. Shit. I got no engines either.
At least try to defeat.
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
Annoying AF. Hold E to exit out of the pilot's thingamadoogie. Snugs is one of the people Cosmic is associated with. Oh, are they? Cosmic is a friend of Zeebs. I like that you consider that. Alright, hang on. Where's the simulation controls? Hang on. Reset the current tier. Please return to the pilot seat to resume combat. Yes, please. Alright, let's try this again. Hi there, Butt Stallion. Welcome to the stream. I'm trying to, like, be a cool, like, you know... I'm trying to be a cool space pilot and defeat, like, really destructive machines and shit.
New targets active.
Alright, so there's the first one. Come on.
Chat has come together and thinks you should do 10 squats during the break.
Alright, never mind. I gotta do my squats. Is Furry Cures the only one that's telling me to do squats? I need more people. I need people to contribute. It's only Furry Cures and Bone. Ugh, big stretch. Alright, here we go. At least it's only 10 squats though, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Easy. Maybe I'll... Actually, you know what, chat? Maybe on the next simulation, gotta get them glutes into shape. Always. Boobies!
We are not impressed.
Okay. Come on, pull down. We're in gravity. There should be, like, no G's, like, forcing us to deal with, like, any headaches or anything like that. We should be able to whip shit around, no problem.
Intercept vectors.
Come on. Exit out of the scanner, do the repairs. God damn you. There you are. Alright.
Halting simulation. Applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
We're gonna reset it. Let's try again. Get your predictions in. Oh, thank you for the subscribe, Spark Falcon. I really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for the tier 1 subscription, Spark_Falcon.
Thank you so much for the subscribe. You don't have to deal with advertisements like we had earlier, and you get to utilize all of these fun emotes in any of the chats you want. Hopefully you'll have some fun with them. Alrighty, we're going into the next fight. Let's see. Submissions are open. Well, am I going to succeed on the next one, or am I going to lose? Yunk. Save it as a new thingy-majiggy. Let's see. We got 1,000 points saying I will do it out of 2 people. I'm glad that everyone has so much confidence in me. Let's sit in the pilot seat, shall we? You know, if I failed at this twice already now. You realize...
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
Alrighty, hang on. So... shields will keep up.
New targets active.
Yep. Come on. Oh. I need to find, there's one.
Extermination protocols active.
Oh, get out of the scanner. Alright, get your shields back up. Fuck. I need meteorites.
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results.
Nah. Nope. We didn't win that one. Choose the outcome. Did they win the fight? No, I did not. Are you sure? Nah is the correct outcome. Once you choose, viewers who have chosen the correct outcome will be awarded 3,080 channel points. You will not be able to reverse your choice, and this will end the prediction. Did anyone vote? Did anyone vote for the... Also, game, please, play music!
Control terminal.
If I'm all tabbed out of you, you can still play sound. I'm fine if you play sound. It's awkward. No one voted no.
You wish to take a break.
That is everyone's problem. 3,000 points just gone. Disintegrated. You was distracted. That is no excuse. There is a visual change when the prediction thingy-majiggy is open. There is a thingy-majiggy in the chat. There is a fucking trumpet that's going off. There are 3... You go suck a lemon, furry cures. There are 3 different things that are gonna happen. It said passed, though. No, because we're going through... We've already gone through the first 3 tiers. We're trying to get through this mission. We're trying to get through this tier of battles and what have you. It's easy when you're the tank in the game. It's not easy for me right now. But yeah, there's like 3 different things going off telling you predictions are open.
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
Where is everyone?
New targets active.
Don't. Damn you, come on. No, I didn't see getting dehimbo. That's Sky's fault. Come on. There we are. Come on. There we are. Alright, that's one ship. On the next tier, we'll do another prediction poll so that everyone is aware.
Target elimination imminent.
Come on, give it to me.
Target.
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
Dock out. Let's try it. Prediction. All right. Are we ready? Resetting the current tier. Asthroth, thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Alrighty, we got a prediction going off. We had so many points thrown into the it wasted away. People need to do their votes and such. Got 2 people saying, nah, I'm not gonna win. We got people saying, yeah, I'm gonna win. You gotta love it when chat like has a there's like big gambles going off in the first like one, and it's like very heavily skewed, and then on the next prediction it's like very little channel points, because you know what happened? Everyone gambled very strongly and there was no recovery. Let's see. I'm 2 people on one side, 2 people on the other. That's a lot better than last time when there was like 3 different people. You're being smart now. Nice. You're being smart. At least it's not 100% into the 100% into the nah. At least it's not that this time. All right. Thingy-madiggy has been reactivated. We're going back into the pilot seat. I'm able to get like 1 ship down, but I'm still getting my ass kicked once we have to get to any of the other ships.
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
Oh, slip space, there we go. Shields offline.
No quarter given.
Oh, shit.
Target defeated. Is this your first time flying?
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results.
Remember when someone did 70,000 points? That was an impressive one. It doesn't happen often, is the annoying thing. It doesn't happen often. Did I win that fight? No, I did not. I wonder if it's one of those cases where it needs me to like be scrappy and like do all the ship repairs and such. So yeah. Alrighty. Let's see, is it gonna tell me who did the... Alright, so the highest payout for the Nas. Spark Falcon, congratulations, winning 142 points. Furry Cures getting 28. Nice work, everyone. Alrighty. Again. Restart is being triggered. Alrighty. We're gonna do another one without the prediction, just so that way people can, you know, come to terms with the points that they have, slowly accumulate what they want, and I get an opportunity to try and... Alright, so... Don't put anything into grav, please. Missiles will reduce, ballistics. Alright.
New targets active.
Thank you. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Alright, we need to avoid... Here we go, here we go, here we go. Come on. Get out from under there.
This is futile.
Shields Shields are offline. That's okay. Just need to repair, get our shields back up as quick as we can. There you are. There he goes, running away.
Calculating intercept vectors.
Oh, come on, come on, come on. Oh. Shields are still up. Alright, nah, let's get out of there.
Extermination protocols active.
Come on. Grab jump is low. Come on. Stay alive. Avoid the shots.
Simulation. You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
Alright, hang on. Alright, hold B. I'm gonna try with the controller and see how we go there. Because, my goodness. I wonder how DCS fans are with a game like this where it's like very weird ass. Because there's no way of being able to like... I like the over-encumbered system where it's like, oh, if you push yourself too far, you're gonna black yourself out and such. There is no way of doing that mechanic in a flying game. Playing on a Tooosday? Yeah, Andreas. Playing on a Tooosday. Because I'm an idiot.
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
Alrighty, so... Come on.
New targets active.
Lasers. Tier 5, god damn you.
You must be able to do better than that.
Alright, let's get moving. We're trying to use the larger asteroids to like keep ourselves. Also, is this thing? Oh my god, it is, isn't it?
We are not impressed.
On.
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant.
Nope.
You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam.
Nope, controller is absolute shit. Are you brute forcing your way into this game? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I went through the first, like, 4 tiers or what have you, like, just doing it as per normal and shit. And now the game has decided to just sort of be like, and here comes a test where, you know, you're just in the void of space. Here we go. Come on.
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
So...
New targets active.
Come on. And the boost doesn't want to do its thing.
This is futile.
God damn you. And now the hull is...
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
Yep. Engines were someone add into the other side or fucking not. To be fair, choose outcome. Did I succeed? No, I did not. There has gotta be, like... Is there a way for me to, like, target something? Hang on. Where is help? There we go. Ships. Press F to... Nope, that doesn't help. Outpost. Ships repairing. EM damage. Ship damage. Any damage that is not absorbed or taken as hull damage if you're... Ship power. Modifications. Docking controls. Here we go. Rolling and shifting is A and D. Shift is the left boost. Hold the middle mouse button to enter free look. Subsystems, increasing and decreasing the subsystems. Okay. That does not help. It was very quick. Ship combat. You will have 3 different types of weapons, either left click, right click, or G. You can fire all your weapons at the same time. They have 2 different firing types. Auto turrets rotate and aim independently of a ship's orientation and are fired automatically without a pilot's input. Manual weapons are fired by the pilot in the direction of the ship is facing. To lock onto an enemy ship, select your target with E, keep them centered. When you are fully locked on, the lock will display. You can break your lock by boosting, moving out of range, or maneuvering outside of the targeting system. Make sure to keep them in your sights. Similarly, when trying to evade, boosting can reduce enemy accuracy and break a missile lock. Locking onto enemy ships makes aiming easier and allows missile weapons to home in on enemy ships. You can even disable specific parts of enemy ships, like their weapons and shield systems, if you damage them enough. If an enemy ship system is disabled, they will no longer be able to use it. For example, if you disable a ship's engines. If you have a targeting system control skill, you can target specific parts of the ship. Oh. Oh. Hello? Why can't I... Oh my god. Alright, load. We're gonna go all the way back. We have to do the first 3 thingamadoogies again. We're going all over again. Teo, astronaut fans, love the manufacturing... We have to... Alright. This is so then that way we can... Ding, 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 ding. Missile unlocks target functioning. You can now utilize ship thrusters. Unlocking ships targeting functionality. Yes, please. Deal 1000 to a ballistic weapon. Alright, so we got boost training, we got the security thing. Destroy 5 enemy ships while in targeting mode defeat with ballistic weapons. Alrighty then. Quick save here. We're doing it again!
Captain, when you have a few moments, there's something I'd like to discuss.
Alrighty then. The first 3 should be easy. Let's see if we can pass the test.
Your exam is simple. Defeat as many tiers of opponents as you can before your ship is disabled. You must defeat at least 3 tiers of opponents to pass the exam. Good hunting, applicant.
Alright, get rid of all of the grav jump. Increase our shields to full. Lasers, maximum, ballistics. And let's get a missile in.
Active.
Ooh.
Target defeated.
Oh, that makes it.
All targets eliminated. Progress recorded. Tier 1 reached.
That is a much different... Someone do the other side, just in case. So yeah, we gotta go through the first 3. We're gotta go through the first 3, and then we'll see how we do on 4.
Targets active.
Come on.
Repairs required. Engine systems unavailable.
Swap. Interesting.
Target defeated.
Interesting.
Eliminated. Progress recorded. Tier 2 reached. Initiating Tier 3.
Alright, Tier 3, here we go. Here we go, Tier 3. Let's see if we can get through this. Prepare for your next target.
New targets active.
Here we go. Alright.
Engine failure detected.
Yonk. Target locked. Alright, we lost the target locked on that one. Here we go.
Target defeated.
Doing good. Doing good.
Tier 3 reached.
Congratulations, applicant. You've defeated sufficient opponents to pass the exam. You may now exit the simulator through the hatch to record your current score, or stay and try your hand at the remaining tiers.
Alright, staying in here.
The examination.
New targets active.
Come on, locking. Lock, there we go. Come on. Oh, that's a heavy ship, isn't it?
Engines disabled.
There we go.
All targets eliminated. Progress recorded. Tier 4 reached. Initiating Tier 5.
Alright, this is where we've been getting troubles before. Here we go.
New targets active.
There we go. Oh, shit. There we... And engines. Here we go. Come on.
Is this your first time flying?
Shit. Come on, lock in. Get moving. Come on, move, move, move. Shit. No! Wish I could stay longer, but I gotta get to bed. Was a pleasure meeting you, Zeebs. Hope you have a fun sleep, Sparks. Ah! Move. Sitting duck.
Your progress ends here.
Come on. There we go. Engine, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it.
Halting simulation.
Damn it. Did I win that? No, I did not. Alright.
You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
Reset the current tier. Maybe we should hold off on predictions. Yep. Nope. Not too many people using them. Or it's just... Here we go. We're just gonna hold off on predictions now for the rest of this tier fighting nonsense.
Simulation reset. Prepare for your
cramp in
first
my leg.
opponent.
Alright, shields on full. That's what we want. Alright, let's have a look. Oh.
New targets active.
There we go. There we are. All right. Shit.
Target elimination imminent. Target defeated.
No quarter given.
Come on. Get it back up, get it back up, get it back up. Oh, shit.
Halting simulation.
Ah!
Advanced applicant. Proceed to the exit hatch to log your results.
So
Restart the exam
close!
from the simulation's control terminal.
I got like 2 of them out of the way, but I couldn't get any... I got 2 of them out of the way, but then I was just a sitting duck. Also, hi there, Torin the Dragon. Love your biceps. We're restarting that simulation. Alright, get back into the seat. We can do it. We can do it. We got an advanced targeting system to help us. It should be a little bit easier to like try and get through.
Prepare for your first opponent.
Okay, why are you... No, stop putting shit into the grav jump. There we go. All right.
New targets active.
Come on, target them.
At least try to defeat us. Target defeated.
God damn you.
Halting simulation.
Oh! I didn't even pay attention to how much I was getting hit.
Or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal. If you wish to take a break, you may exit the simulation through the ship's hatch.
I'm not taking a break.
Go suck a lemon.
You go... The problem is like once I'm in this ship, like I can't open up my inventory or anything like that or review my perks. Why? Why is there like such a limitation to the inventory? All right, try this again. You go suck a lemon, furry cures.
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
Again, stop putting shit into the grav jump. It is useless.
New targets active.
Which one's closer? It's gonna be close to the spaceship.
You must be able to do better than that. Target defeated.
Halting simulation. You have passed proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
Vanguard piloting exam. How many? Alright, so Wave 4 is 1 tier 4 ship. Wave 5 is 4 tier 5s, and then 5 tier 6s. The higher can get quite overwhelming if you let the numbers get to you. Couple of tips to take. Lock on immediately. Simper hover over in the distance for a few seconds to lock on each, and you can whittle down to 0 to map. This is if done from a considerate with the enemy first, allowing you to focus. Pick the right moments to boost. Aim for the enemy missile barrage. Alright. I am just that frustrated right now. This is the side of me that is not like What's-a-Mahoozy. That is not this is not a positive side of me. When I am frustrated and I'm like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm going to figure this shit out. I am going to succeed. There are 2 more tiers to deal with, this and the next one. I am going to win. This game isn't going to get the better of me, of its fucking systems.
Reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
Again, stop putting shit into the grav. Put it all into engine. Actually, you know what? Fucking engine will go down.
New targets active.
Come on.
Your progress ends here.
Again, how am I losing? He's staring right at me.
Warning, incoming fire.
Engines disabled.
Oh boy.
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results.
You can lob that blue shell somewhere else, Blue. I'm gonna win this. There's gonna be something here, and I'm gonna succeed. It's gonna be bullshit. I somehow succeeded on getting 2 of them, and now I'm going through several of these where I'm getting my ass kicked just trying to get rid of one of them. It's gonna be something stupid.
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
New targets active.
Yep. Come on.
We are not impressed.
On, pull in, get behind the asteroid, keep your shields ready to charge. There we go. How's it going, Blue? God damn, it has like no turning circle.
This is futile.
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant.
You go suck a lemon.
To the exit hatch to log your results.
You go suck a lemon.
From the simulation's control terminal.
Certain will disable achievements. Cool. Good to know. The temptation to just sort of be like, click. Give me all the ship repair thingamadoogies. That'd be nice. I am not going to have a fucking simulation. Like, this is not the Kobayashi Maru or some shit like that. Here we go.
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
Stop putting into the grav, you dumb fucking system. It won't help. 75, 83.
New targets active.
Oop.
Engine systems unavailable.
What the fuck? How did I bounce off him? Oh, god damn you. Come on.
Target elimination imminent.
I need to get out of here. No, don't be disabling my shields, you mother...
Halting simulation. Applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results.
God damn this hoplite.
Simulations control terminal.
Getting physically upset over this. Shaking in my seat. Get in the fucking seat. Why is my companion not helping me? Move.
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
Again, why are you putting it into grav jump? It is absolutely useless in times like these. You know what? Let's put our shields down to a low level and get our ballistic up.
Targets active.
Engine failure detected.
Oh. Hello.
Target defeated.
There we are. All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Please try to defeat us.
Damage sustained.
We are hit.
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant.
Hi, Jason.
You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results.
I'm getting my ass kicked in this, like, fucking simulation. This isn't even, like, the final simulation. Like, there's 6 waves in total. I've gone through the first 4, because it goes 1 ship at tier 1, 2 ships at tier 2, 2 ships at tier 3, we get a tier 4 ship, and then we get thrown 4 ships at tier 5, which is what we're at right now. And this isn't even the hardest one. We've got 5 ships in the next tier to deal with. So it's like, oh baby, just absolutely thruffin'. And what's more is the entire time I'm in space combat, I do not understand how it can feel so floaty when the speeds are, fuck's sake, stop putting it.
New targets active.
And here we are. Come on, target lock.
Extermination protocols active.
Losing the target every which way. And that's my
simulation. You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
Alright, so the boost is really low. Shields can get lowered really fast. And then I can put it to 0. Can I even, like, run through this thing? Technically, yes. Oh, boy. What are you throwing at me, Blue? What is that emote throwing? Ah!
Hendrix with the 18-month tier 1 sub.
Thank you so much for the 18 months.
Hello, Space Zeeb.
Hi, I'm Space Zeebs. Well, welcome to the stream, Hendrix. Glad to have you. Thank you for the 18 months. You think I'd have a lot more energy, but I don't. I am just so mad. I am just...
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
Again, turn off the grav. There you are.
New targets active.
1,000 feet. Also, why are you saying... Dun 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 dun.
Engine failure detected.
Calculating intercept vectors.
Halting simulation.
Ah!
Test applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
Can't even play this on the lowest settings. It's just a blurry mess. It isn't much of a mess for me. It's a good Bethesda game, but it is not that fun of a space game. And my biggest kerfuffle with it is this isn't a really good representation of it. Like, this is only the space combat when you're like just outside of a planet or what have you. The biggest issue I have with it is how it feels trying to like travel via like from planet to planet or going into planet. You've been hearing Starfield is okay, quote unquote. Yeah, okay would probably be the best way to describe it right now. Come on, break that. There we go. And engines.
Propulsion systems down. Target defeated.
Alright, there we go. Come on, there we go.
Is this your first time
flying?
Halting simulation. Passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
I am not going to be defeated by a fucking robot. So yeah, it's a good good Bethesda game, but then in the broader scope, especially in the games we've been getting like most recently, it's, you know, it's okay, which is probably like a not that great of a rating to be getting in the... All right, there we go.
New targets active.
Come on, give us a... There we go. There we are. All right.
Extermination protocols active.
Come on. There There we go.
Defeated.
Get rid of that. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log
God
your
damn
results.
this system.
Start the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
I just don't... God damn, I've been at this for like 3 hours now. Donk. This better not be a case of like, oh, if you're a higher level, you can then increase the ballistic thingy-majiggy to a manageable level. Because, like, I'm only level 8 or 9 right now. The ship is like a standard what's-a-mahoozy, and then the tier 5s are like rated as being like level 40 or something weird.
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
Alrighty. Okay.
New targets active.
Alright, get rid of the ballistics if I can. Get rid of the lasers. Come on, get moving. What do you mean I lost the targeting? Come on.
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results. Restart the exam in the simulation's control terminal.
Fifth and sixth give you 10,000 and 20,000 credit respectfully. Is there a fucking achievement to it? Vanguard piloting exam. Tier 5. Breathe. Noted. So, there is a hacking feature. From what it sounds like, there is a way you can hack this computer. Dink. Reset the tier. Debug tools. Generate an ally. All the authorized users only. No digi... What do you mean? I have digi... Oh.
Glug, glug,
I've
glug,
yet to
glug.
meet one that can outsmart a bullet.
I don't have my digipix.
New ally active.
Here we go. Alright, let me get a drink while I'm doing this.
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
Alright, I get an ally. This will help me at this tier. Also, turn you down.
New targets active.
Come on.
I've yet to meet one that can
Outsmart bullet.
Target defeated.
Oh, there's one without his shields.
Ally eliminated.
Target defeated.
simulation.
Alright, hang on. Ding. Quick save. Load that up. I have digipicks. I have a lot of digipicks. And I put them somewhere, and I think I remember where, which is going to be... Also, why am I slow? Oh, it's because of cap lock. Alright, L. Nope. Map. The lodge. It's over in the lodge. I have digipicks. We're gonna hack the simulation, and we're gonna get through the last 2 tiers, and it's gonna be a victory. Oh, what the fuck do you want?
I have something for you.
A gift for me? You shouldn't have.
I picked it up on one of our latest planetary...
Well, I appreciate the effort.
Just pleased I get checked back with...
Cool. I got spice. Bunk, open the lodge. Let's get the digipicks out.
Much as I'm eager, there's something I need to talk to you about.
Oh my gosh, what?
Thanks for taking the time to talk. I wanted to ask you about the artifact you found on Bactera. When you pulled it from the rock,
I had visions, it's difficult to describe.
No, I don't think you understand. How did you feel inside? What were your thoughts?
It was like instantaneously being pulled across the entire galaxy.
That must have been...
Because there was like a visual where it was just like whomp, and then we just saw a galaxy. Alright, cool.
Okay.
Done. Alright. Nope, wrong way. Down this hole. Alright. Transfer. Resources. Where is the digipick? Nope. Miscellaneous. There we go. We had like 20 of them. I was wondering why I couldn't hack. How does it feel? It feels very frustrating that like one of the first things that I need to deal with is the fact that alright, M, and we need to head to the mass district, which is where the simulation should be still. But yeah, this part here, the whole fast traveling, this is very much a Bethesda thing. But as opposed, like, fast traveling in Skyrim, like, because I went through like a shit ton of Skyrim when I went through when I played it and such like that. The fast traveling in Skyrim was less of a going from like important places from one to another. It was only ever used for like backtracking because I was like, oh, I'm on the other side of the whatsamahoozy, let me run. Whereas with this one, it's like the backtracking is a little more like it's a little more like closer together kind of backtracking. Please enter the pilot seat to begin the examination. Cool.
Flight simulation chamber applicant. Currently in orbit around a high-detail recreation of a remote world. When you're ready to begin, please take a seat in the pilot's chair.
The first 3 tiers I don't have an issue with, and once again, they give me grav jump, which is not important.
You must defeat at least 3 tiers of opponents to pass the exam. Good hunting, applicant.
There we go.
New targets active.
There we go.
All targets eliminated. Progress recorded. Tier 1 reached. Initiating Tier 2.
Here we go. How long are you going to be live for? I have no idea. Maybe in the next half hour, maybe in the next 12 hours. Who the fuck knows? It's never worthwhile asking those kinds of things.
Engines offline. Target defeated.
There we go.
All targets eliminated. Progress recorded. Tier 2 reached. Initiating Tier 3.
Alright, so this is the minimum I need in order to pass the exam. And...
New targets active.
Taking fire.
Target
Defeated. Calculating intercept vectors.
repairs required.
Engine systems unavailable.
Target defeated.
There we go.
All targets eliminated. Progress recorded. Tier 3 reached.
Congratulations, applicant. You've defeated sufficient opponents to pass the exam. You may now exit the simulator through the hatch to record your current score, or stay and try your hand at the remaining tiers.
We're gonna try, because this is the one. This is the fourth tier we're able to take on, because it's only one ship. But then the fifth tier throws us multiple ships, which is difficult.
Resuming the examination.
New targets active.
Go, and then... Whoa, what the fuck? Why did you wig out like that? There, oh! Missile target locked. No, thank you. Alright, come on. Rotate. There we go. And shields are mine. Thank you very much.
You will regret that. Repairs required.
Engine systems unavailable.
Target defeated.
There we go.
All targets eliminated. Progress record. Tier 4 reached. Initiating Tier 5.
Alrighty. Prepare for your next target. Alright. Simulation tools. Debug tools. Authorized users only. Hack advanced lock. Yes, please. Alright, so it's not that one, not that one, not that one. Okay, so it's not gonna be that. It's not gonna... Are none of these... No, so it's not gonna be that one. Okay, so that one's a good one. And then... Alright. Slot that key. And then... Slot that. Slot that one. And then slot this one. Infinite upgrades. All upgrades will now persist between tiers. Generate a debug ally. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
This is beautiful. Also, thank you so much for being my biggest fan, Hendrix. I greatly appreciate it. I did not realize my hands broke during that. Let me fix it. Come on. There we go. Alright, shield upgrade, damage upgrade, generate an ally. Alright, we've got 2 allied ships now. Now we're gonna be
Shield
ready.
Upgrade active. New targets active. Damage upgrade active.
New ally active.
Nice.
Ally active.
Nice. That should even out the playing field just a little bit more.
Target elimination imminent.
Ding.
Target defeated.
Target defeated.
Propulsion systems down. Target defeated.
All targets eliminated.
Alright, I've got...
Progress recorded.
I still have my 2 allies, that's good.
Initiating final tier. Prepare yourself. New targets active.
Come on, there we go.
Ally eliminated.
That's not good.
Target defeated.
Come on. Come on. Oh.
Incoming fire. Target defeated.
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results.
Alright, so that was...
Restart the exam from the simulation.
We're nearly there. We got all the upgrades we need between the tiers. We're gonna see if we can generate allies again. So, Yunk. Alright. So, use that. Reset the current tier. Did it not reset the tier? Debug tools. All ally deployed. Generate a... Okay, so I can't generate more than one, it seems, weirdly enough. Please tell me I still have my ally ships on this tier. If I don't, then this is going to be a bit of a problem.
Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
I don't have my allies.
New targets active.
This isn't good.
Halting simulation. You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the...
I'm gonna load the quick save that I had, because that had both my allies still alive, and if they're not gonna reload between like redeploys and stuff like that, I am definitely going to need...
Damage upgrade active.
I'm definitely gonna need both of them for the next thingamadiggy, because it helps keep... It helps keep them it helps keep the enemies distracted and what have you.
At least try to defeat us.
failure detected.
Alright, there we go.
Taking fire. Target defeated.
Ally eliminated.
Damn it. That's not what I wanted.
Target defeated.
Oh, Jesus.
Target defeated.
There we go.
All targets eliminated. Progress recorded. Tier 5 reached. Initiating final tier. Prepare yourself. New targets active.
You must be able to do better than that.
Halting simulation.
Ah.
Passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal.
Quick reloading. Cookie for Sky.
Shield upgrade active. New targets active.
Come on.
New ally active.
Ally active.
I need to keep both of them alive. Or it just crashes the game. Alright, well, I'm going to take that as a cue as stop getting mauled and just move on with my day. I have chores to do. I have a schedule to release. It's because I keep forgetting to do so. There are so many things I could be doing. And playing video games all day, as tempting as that would be, is not a good way to do it. Meanwhile, Furry Cures is just saying, yes! He's done playing. He's done playing video games. He's done streaming. That hurts my feelings in that way. When you say it like that, I hope you realize it. When you're just like, exclamation point, yes, he's done. What the hell is blue emoting? Do people not want me streaming? Is that the mood people are having when I'm just getting mauled and I'm like trying to go on for a little bit longer? People just don't want to see me stream? I mean, yes, when you don't pull the schedule out. Oh. Yeah, so get a schedule out and all that kind of nonsense. All right, let's have a look. It looks like Mudasaur is doing a little bit of art, it seems. Let's see. Are they in the middle of a break or are they actually doing art right now? Oh no, they're getting raided already. They're getting raided by someone else already. Let's have a look. Who else is online? Van Blood is online, and they're playing Starfield as well. We're gonna go raid into them then. All right, click this. We're gonna go for Van Blood. Yeah, I love and even fall asleep to you for the. All right, let's go for. Have you passed all 5 of the Vanguard ship test? That is going to be our raid message. Cookie for Hendrix. Alrighty then. Otherwise, I am going to say thank you everyone who came along to this morning's stream. I greatly appreciate it. We'll be back on tomorrow evening, our normal time. It's probably going to be a little more Starfield, I'm going to be real with you. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.